Hey, Sean here from SpeedCubeReview.com. So there's been a new 4x4 release from GE, the Valk4, and I did a review of it. Well, I did an unboxing and first impressions, but a lot of people wanted a comparison with the GTS2 as well as with the WuQue Mini Magnetic, and I'm going to add another one in there as well at the end, but let's talk about this. So I'm just mainly going to be comparing them, talking about their differences and maybe some difficulties I had. I set up the Valk. I tried swapping out the springs. The springs are so similar that I actually can't tell which ones are which anymore. So I put the old ones in this bag, and there is one of the new ones as well, just because there were 7 in here before, and I can't tell which is which. So they're that similar. And feeling of it, it's very similar as well. It's a little bit lighter, so I can have it on tighter tensions and still be fast, but it's extremely similar. It's not very different at all. So with that said, I'm going to probably keep these ones in here because of no reason to really switch them back and spend time doing that. So the other day I did a bunch of solves back and forth, spent a couple hours just solving these 4x4s. As far as my personal best time in there, the Valk4 had the best single, but for average, the GTS had a much better average by like 3 to 4% off of what this one was for times. Why is that? Well, I think it's because the GTS is a bit more forgiving. If I can turn accurately and not getting catching on the Valk, it flows magnificently well. But if there's any little catches, it seems to be really difficult to fight through that. I feel like I'm a really accurate turner, and so if someone is more rough, this might be really difficult to use. Let's talk real quick about feeling of it, though. Let's kind of go through these basic categories. The Valk is a little bit smaller than the GTS, just by about 1.5 millimeters, a little bit less than that. The GTS is not quite 62 millimeters, it's like 61 point something. And the GTS feels very different than other ones just because it's that sort of mid-size, it's kind of bubbly and rounded. The Valk is much more flat. I said in my unboxing it feels a little bit like a Yushin Blue, and I still kind of stand by that. It feels like if this came out as like an upgraded Yushin Blue, I would be like, okay, that makes sense. It feels kind of like that as well. The outside layers flow like it's a 3x3. The inner layers, I do get a bit of catching, and that's where the trouble I get. I don't really have any catching on the outer layers. It's those inner layers that I'm having more trouble with. I haven't had any corner twisting just because I have tightened the tensions. I've tried some looser tensions as well. I haven't just gone tighter and left it at that. I actually find the tighter tensions do make the cue perform a little bit better than on the looser ones, just because you can flex even more with those. Corner cutting's fine all around. I think the GTS can corner cut a little bit more than the Valk. And I think the WuQue can actually corner cut a little bit more than the Valk as well. So let's compare these two, the WuQue Mini with the Valk. These are the same size puzzles and both kind of the flagships for GE. The big thing that I think bothered a lot of people about the WuQue was the more flexible outer layers. Like sometimes it felt like corners were a little more flexible and can just kind of move around like that. The Valk feels much better on those outer layers. It doesn't feel like the cube's about to flex and come apart, even if it's not going to for the WuQue. The one thing that the WuQue does have on the Valk, though, is those inner layers seem to cut through things much more nicely. My times actually are still a little bit better on the WuQue than the Valk. It might just be practice. I mean, I could spend another couple hundred solves on the Valk and it might get better, but at the moment it's not quite there. Am I saying the Valk's a bad cube? Not at all. And I do like the feeling more than the WuQue. But actually, I think the GE puzzle I prefer most is my Mini Thunderclap M. I've magnetized one. This one is a cosmic one that I ordered from SpeedCube Shop. And it has just a nice balance of the flexibility and stability, because the Valk has a much more stable feeling than the WuQue, but the WuQue can corner cut through things a bit more. If I had to choose one to use today for, let's say, a competition, I would probably still go to the GTS. I prefer the size of the Valk, but I am able to perform on this one a little bit better than I can on the Valk. But let's say if you've used the GTS2 and you think it's too flexible and you'd like something a little bit smaller and more stable, the Valk might be perfect for you. So I've also put some solves in the video so you can see and compare their performance. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by SpeedCubeReview.com for more news and reviews.